see all the new features happening here on YouTube Live, and I'm gonna take advantage of all these new features. We're gonna be talking about colorism today, and I'm gonna go on to one of my most popular posts. It's a short, I think it is, and I was talking about colorism, and I said, if you think colorism is bad in the United States of America, you should try living in Mexico. And really, I was saying that just for clickbait, you know, not saying that I don't feel like colorism is in the United States of America. I'm just saying, as my experience as a dark skinned Black woman living in Mexico, I noticed a lot of things that were going on in Mexico that people don't talk about. It goes back to almost 10 years ago when I first started going to Mexico. And I want to read some of the comments on my post and some of the feedback that I got. I got a lot of racist comments, a lot of angry people. And, again, this is just my experience and it doesn't have to be yours. I'm not saying I hate Mexico, but I wanted to just highlight a lot of things that people don't talk about that happens in Mexico that that's swept under the rug. And we're talking about the most marginalized people in the United States of America. I'm not talking about Black Americans in Mexico. I'm talking about, did I say United States of America? I meant in Mexico. I'm not talking about Black people from the US. I'm talking about the indigenous and Afro Mexicans in Mexico and how they get treated. There's a huge difference. I feel like when I first got to Mexico and I started seeing and talking to people and meeting people and traveling, I was blessed enough to travel that entire country, almost that entire country. So I got to experience more of a local immersion type travel, more so than a touristy travel. Although I am, a tourist in that country, but I got to really see like what life was about and how people got treated, and some of the things you just don't know when you don't come to Mexico, or you just stay on a resort and you just go to a what do you call it, to like um yeah, a resort type place. You know what I mean? It's like a whole different experience when you immerse in the culture, no matter where you go. So before we get started, I want to say I am Dama Yanga, Queen Khalifa, or they call me Diani, and we're going to talk about colorism in Mexico versus the United States. Please drop your twos and fews. I want to hear all the tea. I want to clock all the tea on what you think is happening in Mexico versus the United States. Which one do you think is crazier? As when it comes to colorism, what's your experience? And where have you been in Mexico? Where have you been in the United States? Because it definitely makes a difference on your experience. I live in the United States. When I'm in the United States, I'm from the United States. But when I'm in the United States, I'm in California. So my experience with colorism from California is going to be different than someone's experience, say, like in the South, the deep South, or somebody's experience in the Midwest or the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. It's totally not the same. And depending on your skin color, and there's so many variables, that talk that goes with your experience. So in Mexico, again, everybody just, I guess, I don't know, it's the way that I said it, but they really didn't understand what I was talking about when I said colorism in Mexico. So let's start for one. This is some like facts, okay? And don't forget, y'all, don't forget to put some thumbs up, ask some questions, share this live, whatever you need to do. Um, because this is gonna be some great information. Again, I'm about to pull up that video that I did, and it's titled the same thing. It's titled, "You Think Colorism is Bad in the United States? Try living in Mexico." So all you have to do is go to that video, and you're gonna see like, oh my God, I got so many comments on it. It was crazy, but people thought I was talking about, they thought I was talking about Black people in Mexico. You know what I mean? And that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about indigenous and Afro-Mexican people in Mexico and what I noticed about them in Mexico. So did you know, before I get started and reading these comments and stuff, did you know that in Mexico in 2015 or 2020 was the first time, okay, that the census in Mexico allowed people of color, hello, how you doing? Allowed people of color to identify as people of color. So on the census, okay, this is just 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that they allowed that to be a thing. So this is pretty current that they allowed them to identify as either African, Afro Mexican, or Black, I believe. I forgot, it's been a while. So you see where I'm going when I say colorism is a huge thing there. You know what I'm saying? And some people deduce that the Afro-Mexican population to like, there's, oh, it's only like 1% of the population or 2% of the population, you know? And it's crazy. Talk if you are Black. I don't know what that means. So it's crazy that people do that, you know? And it means a lot for people to be able to identify as whatever it is that they want to identify as. So this is what we need to talk about, because that when that happened and when I read about that, it felt like my topic is, we're talking about colorism in Mexico versus the United States, because that's one of my most popular videos. If you go to my archives of videos, and hello Curious George, you guys, don't forget to give me some thumbs up, please. Hello D Dog and hello Adriana Gross. It's one of my most popular videos, so I wanted to tackle this topic because a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about what I was talking about. And plus, they never had the opportunity to either visit Mexico or the United States, and they only go off what they see on TV, which is not the same, okay? And I'm gonna read some of the comments that people said. A lot of people who are Mexican agree with me, and they talked about how, you know, there is a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy. There is a caste system that was brought to Mexico by the Spaniards. That, and we know it's a global thing, but again, I'm only talking about my experience. This is why I'm talking about Mexico, because it was my experience, okay? Then you don't have to be on this live. What's up? What's up? What's up? Are you ready? Huh? Yeah. Or you want to wait like 10 minutes or what? Are you ready now? Huh? I gotta go work out in a second. But yeah, what I was talking about. So let me see. I'm gonna go to that video. Let me go to that video real quick. I had a lot of people comment on that video too. I think I got over almost 100,000 views on that video. Something like that. I don't know. It was crazy. Let me see. I'm gonna go to it real quick. If you have any questions, if you want to ask me any questions, thank you for the thumbs up, y'all. I appreciate it. Womp, 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 womp. Right? See, the thing about going live, you cannot care about what people say because people be bored. And, you know, if you have your own thing to do, you wouldn't be on my live. So that's how I feel. So keep putting down in the comments. I don't really care too much. Just as long as you're respectful. You know what I mean? I'm not tripping. Okay, I want to go to this. I'm looking for it right now. I wish I was on my other phone. Dang. Your videos. Give me 1 second. Nami. That guy is so mean. He's just bored. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, Nami. I hope I'm saying your name right. Where are you guys from? Where is everybody from? That's what I need to know, because depending on where you're from is based on your experience, for real. Like, you can't really understand my experience if you've never been where I've been. And I can't understand your experience if I've never been where you've been. You know what I mean? So this is why I want to talk about this, because, like, again, it's like one of the most popular videos on my channel. And it was just me expressing how I really feel, like my experience. And I don't know how people get mad when someone has their experience and they want to talk about it. That's what's crazy. You know what I mean? Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I'm from here. Where's here? Where are you from? Where's here from? Where does that? I'm trying to find a video. Hold on. Give me a second. And I only got about, oh, it's 10 minutes. I'm gonna get 15 more minutes, then I'm gonna stop. It's so crazy. Um, Hold on. Because the video is it's about a year old. The video is, oh, you're from the United States. You're from Florida. Okay. Florida, see, Florida is very diverse, right? A lot of people from South America live in Miami, depending, or Florida, right? Depending on where you're from. So I bet you get to see a lot of diversity out there. Kind of like California. I'm from California. I'm from California. I love California. We're spoiled in California. A lot of people are mad at the fact that we are spoiled in California. But it's very expensive, and I know Florida's expensive too, huh? But y'all got some nice weather out there. I can't do those hurricanes. I can't do hurricanes. So while I'm in Cancun, so when I'm in Mexico, most of the time I'm in Cancun. So what I do is I spend the winters in Cancun, and then the summers in Cancun, which is usually the hurricane season, I come back to California or I go to Chicago or somewhere. It's super hot in Florida. So check this out. This is a known fact. So Cancun is, they call it mini Miami. I don't know if you knew that. They call Cancun mini Miami. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna find this video. I'm about to tell you how many views it got too. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Um, where'd it go? Ah, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to find the video because I want to read the comments to you guys. And I'm running out of time because I gotta go work out. How old are you? How old are you if it's okay for you to tell? Why does it matter how old I am? Why you want to know that? Let me see. We're talking about Mexico right now. All right, I think I'm getting close to it. Dang, I got a lot of videos. I'm doing pretty good on my thing. Let me see. What's your experience like? Do you find out that, is it really racist or colorist in Florida? You have your own content too? Okay. Go ahead, follow me. I'll follow you back. Thank you for tuning in too. Let me see. I think I need some glasses. So usually I'm on my iPhone and I'm not. Are you originally from Florida or you're from somewhere else and you moved to Florida? Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Thank you for tapping in. All right, I'm looking for this video. it took me 5 minutes to find this video. I should be ashamed of myself. Where is it? Why can't I find it? Oh, my leg hurts. Oops. Hi, are you bilingual? Uh, I know a little bit of Spanish. Um, I've been practicing more because I'm in the States right now and I haven't used it as much when I was in Mexico. So yeah, are you bilingual? It's great to be bilingual. I really want to learn a lot more Spanish because I know Bad Bunny is about to do the halftime show, and I want to make sure I understand. But I know the Spanish in Puerto Rico is a little bit different than the Spanish I learned in Mexico. But still, I mean, you can still communicate with each other, you know? Where are you from, Queen? If you're bilingual, where you're from? Yeah, but I was just telling people before I'm still looking for this video, how in 2020 was the first time that people were allowed to identify as Afro Mexican on the census in Mexico. So this is why I'm saying that colorism runs deep in Mexico. You know, in Mexico, you're considered Mexican, and that's it. That's the only thing you're considered. They don't talk about or think about anything else. But again, people are very proud to be Spaniard. That's what I've been seeing. People are very proud to be Spaniard, but also say that they're just Mexican. So it's kind of weird. It's like the closer your proximity, closer the proximity you are to like your European features is different. No, but actively learning. Just got back from a Spanish immersion trip in Guanajuato. Ooh, tell me more about that. Tell me more. I want to know about that. Where did you find that out? I've traveled like almost the whole country in Mexico. Guanajuato is nice. I've been there. Started in February. Okay, what apps do you use? Do you use apps as well to learn your Spanish? Oh, wow, I got a copyright. Uh, so I learned most of my Spanish. My guy friend taught me Spanish because he's bilingual, and then I learned it from Duolingo. And also, if you there's a guy on YouTube that's really amazing. It's his name is Spanish with Paul. I love his lessons. His lessons are really dope. So, Spanish with Paul is really good. But I want to hear more about your Spanish immersion trip in Guanajuato. Please tell me more. Is it so you can learn Spanish more or what? And what was your have you been to Mexico before? That's one question. And what was your experience like in Mexico and what nationality are you? Dreaming Spanish Dreaming Spanish comprehensive input. Okay. And what nationality are you? I tell people too, it makes a difference where you're from when you're trying to learn Spanish. You know, like so California, you know, because Spanish is such a very fast language, and it's a language where you use a lot of your tongue and your mouth, and you it's a lot of movement. English, depending on where you're from, has different movements, right? So California, we talk pretty fast in California, but we pronounce, enunciate our words, right? Yes, been to Mexico City, live in San Diego. Oh man, you're right there. You're right there. Oh yeah, I cross the border a lot. We just took a group of 7 people on an immersion trip to Puerto Nuevo for a bachelorette party. It was so fun. So that's what I do in Cancun. I do immersion trips in Cancun. So my partner is bilingual, and so he does the bilingual part, the Spanish part, and I do the cultural part. So that's what we do in Cancun. So if you're down with doing a trip in Cancun, a cultural immersion trip in Cancun, let me know. That's where travel for the soul comes from. So yes, I live in Cancun, but for the winter time, for the summer times, I usually come to California. So in California, I'm in um the Sacramento area, San Francisco area. So I have family in LA, so I'm in LA. I'll be in LA next month on the 15th. I'll be in LA. You can see a lot of my content. I have a lot of content about Mexico because I did a video on colorism not too long ago. Been to Mexico YouTube, for and it just went crazy. Long time. There was a lot of negative feedback. I've been in Mexico for 10 years, and my partner's been in Mexico for over 20 years. So we have a combined total of 30 years in Mexico. So there's a lot of experience we have with Mexico. And we went before it became a thing, before it became popular, before it became trendy, before everything that's going on now. So it was a whole totally different experience. There wasn't all the laws that are being made now. It wasn't tripping off the border stuff. It's just they weren't tripping off gentrification. You know, it wasn't like it is now. My immersion trip was 7 days of pure joy. Amazing. Andrea La Mexicana YouTuber did the trip. I'm gonna have to follow her. That's amazing. I'm about to follow her right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Maybe we can do some stuff together. Andrea. La. I love Mexico City. Why did they choose Guanajuato? Why do you think they went there? Is that where she's from? Okay, I just got her. I found her. That's what I thought. I just found her. Um, I was able to travel the country of Mexico because I started a business with my partner, and we did well, he played basketball around Mexico, professional basketball. So I was able to travel with our company throughout Mexico playing basically street ball in Mexico. So it was really fun. It's actually you can watch it was televised. So they did a documentary on my partner, and he was on Vice Land TV. It was a couple years ago, about 6 years ago, and they followed him and a group of basketball players in Mexico playing ball for money. So yeah, and it was televised. It's called The Last Shot on Viceland TV. You could probably see snippets of it, or maybe the whole documentary on YouTube. It's amazing. It's amazing. There are actual people from Mexico who live in Mexico who play basketball for a living, and that's what they do. And it's like right. So you got the Sipa Copa or the LNMB. What is it? LNBP. So yeah, it's the LNBP is the top league, right? And then the Siba Copa is right there next. And then you have the Mercenario. So yeah, it's a great documentary because a lot of people don't know basketball is a thing in Mexico. A lot of people don't know that. So yeah. But yeah, thank you so much, Queen. I appreciate you. I was trying to find this video, and I don't know why I can't find it. But I was talking about there was negative feedback, but a lot of my experience in Mexico and one of my most popular videos. This is the only reason I'm talking about it because it's a super, oh, she lives in Canada. It was a super popular video on my YouTube. And a lot of people didn't understand what I was saying, and a lot of people got offended, but it was just the truth of my experience. And when you notice, because me living in the United States my whole life, right? And then I traveled to Mexico. Imagine just seeing Mexico on your television screen, right? And when you watch the novelas and you watch, um, is it Telemundo or anything, most of the things you see on television that portrays any person from a or Spanish country, South America, or even Mexico, when you watch that, they don't show you what the people really look like, right? They really don't show you. They only show you like the fair skin, green eyes, blonde hair type people, the ones who have the closest proximity to the Spaniards or the YT people, right? And so when I first arrived in Mexico, it was in Mexico City, and I get out of the airport and I see the people of Mexico. I was blown away by what I saw. I was like, I never, what? These people are brown. They're brown people everywhere. You laughing at me? Why? Dramatic? Loud? We could talk. What? Huh? He's so goofy. It was just like brown people everywhere, and it was just beautiful to see that because you don't really they don't really they don't really televise it, right? They don't really talk about it, and it was I remember when I went to Chiapas. We were in San Cristobal, and in Chiapas, oh my god. Yes, I've been to Guerrero, and I've been to where's the other people that Afro Mexican people are at? Oaxaca. I've been to both parts, and it was so funny. Okay, so when I went to Oaxaca, it was crazy because I didn't know like we went to Yanga Veracruz too. We went to Yanga Veracruz, and I'm walking in Oaxaca, and I see just brown people and even people that almost look like me. They almost look like me. The only difference is the skin was a little bit more red. They had more red undertones. I feel like I have more yellow undertone. So their skin was more red. They were dark skinned, but they were red. And then their hair wasn't quite as kinky as mine, but there was a kink to it. So when everyone in Oaxaca walks that was looking like that saw me, we were staring at each other, and then I would stare at them. But I didn't know enough Spanish back then to really communicate. So my boyfriend was like, "Go talk to him. You guys are staring at each other." It was just amazing to see that in Mexico because you never hear about that and no one ever talks about it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I feel like the colorism in Mexico is it's worse in that aspect, is that there's no representation, there's no voice for the indigenous people or the Afro-Mexican people, to have a seat at the table, to have the opportunities that the fair-skinned people have, and the representation like all over in television and magazines, in the political fight, whatever. So that's what my whole live was about, but I got thrown off and I couldn't find this video. So I'll be more prepared next time. Um, Thank you guys for just tuning in. I'm gonna try to be on here more, and I'm gonna be learning Spanish because um, um, I want to get ready for the Super Bowl because Bad Bunny is where we'll be doing the Super Bowl, and I want to make sure I understand. I know it's Puerto Rican Spanish; it's so different than Mexican Spanish, but they can still communicate with each other. So I want to brush up on my Spanish and be able to rock out to the Super Bowl. I'm happy for the Latin community, to have, a voice, because I just think diversity is just a beautiful thing. That's how I feel. Queen, Oaxaca is where I want to visit next, like really soon. Listen, girl, Oaxaca has mwah, the food. La comida es muy rico. Oh my God. Muy rico. So, muchos sabores. Just. What else can I say? What else can I say, babe? Huh? About the food. It's just sabrosa. Oh my God. It's so amazing. The food in Oaxaca is the best food I've had in Mexico. Um, Glayudas. They have these things called glayudas. Now, they're not all great, but when you are with a local and you know where to go and you know where to eat, they're going to take you to the best. Yes, baby. It is. Ah, that's the only reason I go to Oaxaca. I've been to Oaxaca a few times, and I'm not a huge meat eater then, but when I go to Oaxaca, I'm eating meat, okay? You were talking about it today at work? Yeah. Listen, if you go, I'm gonna tell you my top. Let me just give you my top 5 places to visit in Mexico when I'm talking about food and culture and just all around vibes. Okay, of course Oaxaca. So you got a few places in Oaxaca. You have um. Oh my goodness, my mind just went blank. Where did we go in Oaxaca again? Huh? Not Santa Maria. Maria is like up in the mountains, so you might want to go there. Um. Where did we go in Oaxaca? So I'm trying to think of the places we went. It was so quiet. It was so relaxing. So of course, go to Oaxaca. Puebla. Let me tell you about Puebla, okay? Listen, you want to talk about the most kindest, gentle, loving, accepting people in the world. Go to Puebla. Puebla, they're so hospitable. Let me give you a quick story. So every time I go to Mexico City, I get sick. I don't know what it is about me in Mexico City, but Mexico City, I eat in Mexico City, I always get sick from the food. So I'm in Mexico City. We were going to Puebla anyway, but I got sick on the bus ride to Puebla. And I'm talking about diarrhea, throw up, the whole nine, the shivers, the shakes, the shits, okay? It was just horrible. And I'm on a bus, okay? On vacation traveling. I'm throwing up everywhere. Oh my God. We get to the hotel. When I get to the hotel, um, I don't know how, but my boyfriend meets a guy outside. And the guy outside wants us to come to his house to meet his family, right? Because Puebla is like not where I went in Puebla was called La Ceiba, and it was in Jicotepec. It's a very small pueblo, right? So it's not really touristy, so it's nothing but locals, and there's no big stores, especially when I went. And anyway, I'm trying to make this short as possible. So I go to the family's house to meet the guy's parents with my boyfriend. They see that I'm sick, okay? And this is not gonna happen anywhere but Mexico, baby. They see that I'm sick. And guess what they do? They refuse to allow me to leave. They wanted to take care of me. So this guy who I didn't know and his family I didn't know from Adam or Eve gives me their son's room and nurses me back to health. And it took me a week to get well. They're feeding me breakfast, lunch, dinner. They're, I mean, name it, they did it. And Puebla will forever have my heart, forever. Okay, it's like just imagine having that as an experience, as one of your first times in Mexico. Like, how could you not love Mexico? You feel what I'm saying? Because you hear all this stuff in the United States about Mexico, and it doesn't match when you get there. Ah, Puebla is so amazing. So okay, we got Oaxaca, we got Puebla. You gotta go to Chiapas. Chiapas is hands down like, and I was sick when I went to Chiapas too. I got sick from the food again, and this is like years ago when I first started going to Mexico. So my immune system wasn't built for all the different types of bacterias and stuff like that. You know, when you're traveling to a new place. But now I just never get sick in Mexico. I don't get sick anymore. And so, but it's just so beautiful, a lot of culture. So Chiapas is the first place that I was able to hear indigenous language being spoken, just out and about. I've never heard an indigenous language in Mexico before, so it was like I tripped out and I was like so intrigued and curious, and I wanted to have more conversations with the family, but I didn't want to be too, touristy. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to record it so I could have it in my memory. But yes, amazing, amazing. So Oaxaca, Puebla, Chiapas, and I'm gonna tell you this: it's super touristy though, but you have to go to Cancun. And I'm gonna tell you why you have to go to Cancun. You have to go to even just the state of Quintana Roo in itself. So the state of Quintana Roo, it has Cancun, Tulum, Playa del Carmen, Isla Mujeres, Cozumel, and a few other small little islands, right? It's just gorgeous. Water is blue and turquoise. The weather is just beautiful during the wintertime. The food is not that great, but just the energy there is just amazing. So make sure you go there. And then my last place, I would say, give me one. Which would you say, Antoine? He said Sinaloa, but I never been to Sinaloa. So make sure you check out those. Nayarit was cool. Nayarit was cool. Nayarit was cool. They're super sweet too. So yeah. So next time I'm gonna go live and talk about some stuff. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna be on schedule with these lives. We're gonna talk about all things Mexico. We're gonna be learning Spanish. We're gonna be doing everything on here. I'm gonna get back to my lives. I'm gonna get back to my content. I'm gonna answer and respond to all the freaking comments that I got. I got so many comments I have not responded to. I've been down and out for the last couple years, but I feel like I'm coming back now. So thank you for tuning in, and see you in a minute. I'm about to go do my workout. Ciao.